to the first ever episode of the AWSM Games Podcast. I am your host, Alex Wolf, joined here with my good friend, Stephen Morrow.
Hello.
Just kind of put it out there what we are. We are a video game podcast. We'll be releasing episodes to you each and every week, as long as time permits or some weird things happening.
We are actually the podcast.
We are the podcast.
Yeah. Yep. Without us, the podcast would not exist.
Well, yeah, without us. I mean
that's
it's in our
true,
names.
actually.
It's in our names. Initials,
Yeah.
AWSM Awesome Games. If we're not here, there's no podcast. It's just how it works.
And if only one of us is here, then it's just awe or some.
And we don't want just some. We don't just want awe.
Well, awe, I would be okay with awe and
Like
not
all
some,
games and not some games.
Well, like awe,
All games.
like awe. But I don't want to look at some and be like
Some game.
That's
some
games.
Yeah, you don't want some
But
games.
awe is like that can be awe-inspiring, or it can be adorable.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Or it could be totally off the rails like this right here.
games. Anyway, so just a bit who we are. So Steven and I have been friends for years now. This is something we've been wanting to do since we were kids. Probably if not shortly after we first met. It's just a huge dream. I grew up watching G4 and Tech TV. Kind of, Adam Sessler, Morgan Webb, Kevin Pereira.
Rest in peace. Not any of them, but...
No, I'm pretty sure they're all still alive. I'm very confident.
G4s.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was what I did. Most kids came home and watched their cartoons after school. I did that. I got on my dad's computer and I pulled up G4's website, IGN's website, GameSpot's website, and I would check every news feed I could and then constantly have a constant refresh every hour.
We would sit through James Bond movie reruns.
Oh my god.
Just so that we wouldn't miss the next game thing.
Or a marathon of cops.
Just cops, James Bond, and video games.
And so getting into the video game, media, journalism, whatever it is nowadays, aspect of something this has been a huge aspiration for us. So in a day and age where podcast is king and it's very accessible, we wanted to make sure we capitalized on it this year and make it happen. And whatever comes of it, comes of it. We want it to be successful. We want to bring you guys a constant flow of news, reviews, updated releases, things like that every week. And again, this first episode, it's going to be rough. We'll have some rough spots. So if you guys support us, if you like what you see, or you want to see us grow, by all means, let us know what we're doing now, how we can make it better.
What you like, what you don't like.
Let us know. Any kind of all criticism is welcome. We appreciate that. It lets us know, we have people that are avid listeners and they have faith in us and they want to see us grow and do what we do best.
And we want this to be...
do what we do best.
Yeah, we want this to be two-way as well. So it's not
Yeah.
just us talking to you. You can reach out to us if you have anything that you want us to talk about, or if you have any comments on anything.
Yeah, leave us any kind of messages, comments, whatever you can, any way you can reach us, by all means, let us know. We greatly appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, myself, I've never been huge... I've been on 2 episodes of the PlayStation Forecast, hosted by Alex Derrickson. If you guys see me there, I was on the E3 post-reaction show with him. I also did recently the Game of the Year's episode, which is now up. If you guys want to check that out, the PlayStation Forecast, it's on YouTube, Twitch. It's on podcast services everywhere, I'm pretty sure. So, there's that. Steven, you want to give a little bit of info as to what you've done?
Yeah, so I was on a gaming podcast about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago.
God. About a year.
Yeah.
A year.
With I should probably start. I'm co-founder and current owner of More Than Friends. We are a production company that works with different independent artists and things like that, and we share stories and art, and we host events, kind of all kinds of little things. Especially supporting people like Alex here and things like this podcast. So that. And then I've done some podcasting in the past, lots of random storytelling things and some audio visual stuff. And then this is another one of those things.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hopefully this all works out and it comes to me big. If not, it opens up gateways so we can get the bigger thing. So
I like those gateways.
Those gateways. Those portals. Let's kind of just go into this. So I mean, this week was kind of I want to say it's one of the first full weeks of news since the end of the year. So we had the Game Awards, and everything kind of slowed down because you had Christmas.
Well, hold on a hot second. I want to just acknowledge the fact that 2018, what a fucking year! Oh my god!
Oh yeah, I know.
I thought 2017. I still think I personally like 2017 more game wise. But objectively, I think 2018 So I'm really excited.
Yeah,
2019.
2019's kicking it off in high gear. I mean, we've got things like Resident Evil 2 being released, Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, we'll get into that a little bit later, but yeah, you've got that. You've got Devil May Cry 5.
New console announcements.
Oh yeah, so potential new consoles. That'd be great. Yeah. I fully expect Xbox. I don't know about PlayStation yet.
We'll see.
But we'll get into it a little later. So first things first, we'll talk about probably the biggest thing to come out of news this week. Activision and Bungie split. That's crazy. So, I mean, they've been partners since 2010, and then with Destiny launching in 2013?
Something like that.
Somewhere around there. And, Destiny was a huge cash cow for them, and Destiny 2, of course, quite not reaching the numbers they want, just, things here and there. It happens. It's games of service.
So how do you feel about that?
So I feel like the reason why is, yes, I think there was a financial issue, whereas Destiny 2 is not pumping out the numbers that Activision wanted to see, and Destiny is very much... I don't want to say in tune with their consumer base and their fans because, they listen, yeah, but I feel like some of the issues are some of the same issues they'd had, and then new issues arise, and some of them they fix, some of them they don't,
Well, part of me wonders how much of that relationship is from Activision because, things always get kind of weird with publisher-developer relationships because publisher, their number one goal is money.
Yeah.
Developer, now, while still wanting to make money... they tend to care a little bit more about the product that they're putting out. And Activision is kind of right up there with EA in terms of the publishers that we don't mind shitting on. It's interesting that the split is happening, but also I'm curious to see what Bungie's going to do next because of this. Because now they might be reassessing different goals or maybe even downsizing. Something like that, but usually with that you'll see a resurgence of new ideas. So that's exciting.
Yeah, certainly. So I think the first things first. I think Destiny will stay. I think Bungie has invested a ton of time and effort into this. While it is still a success by all means. When it first launched, it was gangbusters. Everyone was all over it. Fans were happy. They were playing it, and with updates come complaints, and there comes
I feel like that happens with everything.
Exactly. Technology in general. You want to update and you want it to work. Sometimes there's backlash. So then you constantly fix things. It's what happens especially in a games of service kind of industry we're in today. So we'll have that. We'll see another Destiny game. I think
you mentioned Bungie. Bungie still owns Destiny.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's a huge benefactor. But I think another reason why is Activision pumped out this year Call of Duty Black Ops with the Battle Royale scene. And they're still, Blizzard is still heavily supporting Overwatch. So it's just one of those things is how many games of service can you have under one umbrella, and how much do you want to invest in all three of those? When you own, for the most part, the Call of Duty franchise, and you are, funneling money in that, and that money and that games makes money every year. With every iteration, no matter how much it's critically panned or how much fans love it, it is still going to print money. That's just how it is. And then a game like Overwatch, which has been relevant for years now in the online competitive scene and still getting great support and fans are still loving it, is there room for a game like Destiny where it's it's very polarizing, where you have either fans that absolutely love it or you have fans that are like, oh my gosh, this is an issue, this is an issue, this is an issue. You still have people playing, but they're not investing as much money and time in it as they were. So it's just one of those things, do we cut the cord? And then does this give Bungie a lot more freedom to do what they want to do? Because like you said, because the publisher and developer relationship, Bungie now owns that IP. They can start publishing it themselves if they want.
That's what excites me the most.
So yeah, and that's probably the biggest thing to come out of this, I feel like, is just the freedom they'll have. And it'll be really cool to see what they can do, because this is the first time Bungie's been on their own since before Halo. So we'll see how this goes. I think it'll be great. I hope it will pan into something where I jump into Destiny more than I did. I liked 1, I played that quite a bit, and then I played a little bit of 2, but life changes, and a lot of games are coming out at the same time. It's like, oh god, I can't delve into this, I gotta play these other games too, and I'm much more of a single player guy myself, so we'll see how that goes.
Same here. But I have no doubt that somewhere in some meeting, Bungie was like, hey, we want to do this thing, and then Activision was like, yeah, but is it going to meet these financial goals? And they had to cut things out. And maybe even things like a more involved single-player campaign, stuff like that, where it's interesting because if you look at data, typically when publishers look at the financial information, yes, things with multiplayer have more longevity, but just the existence of a single player campaign can actually affect sales. And I just think it's interesting looking at that. But like publishers can maybe interpret the data differently.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see what that means for Destiny in terms of maybe even some non-online content or some more narrative risks, I guess, or more involved narrative design in general.
No, yeah, and I mean, I think it'll still stay an online game. I think to take away from that now, a little too late, you know. Maybe a spin-off title if they want to do that, but again, I don't see that happening anytime soon. So, but you know, who knows? It's anything can happen. It's early in the year. Announcements can happen. E3 still months away, so we don't know what's going to happen here. That was also from gamesindustry.biz, posted by Rebecca Valentine. So you know, we want to give support to the people writing these articles. We don't want to just claim it as our own.
Speaking of E3, though, I don't think we have this in our notes, but do you want to talk a little bit about Sony's lack of presence at E3 or their announcement of that?
I mean, I kind of do. I mean, part of it is just a matter. It was announced maybe 2 months ago now, so it's got some time. I mean, I feel like it's kind of been talked to death. I do want to get speculation to it though. I think it's just a matter of not enough in the pipeline yet with what they want to do. A lot of stuff is coming out early this year, so I want to say, what is the game? I can't think of it. Zombie game.
Days Gone.
Days Gone. Yes. God, driving complete blank.
There's too many things that like have dead and zombies and days. And it all gets muddled. But,
right.
But Days Gone...
the release date, what, April now? I think that's the furthest it got pushed back announced.
I think so, yeah.
Exclusive-wise. So, I mean, when you have that going down there, I mean, while E3 would be the time to do it, but we're also on the cusp, like you said, of a new console generation happening. So it's a matter of, do we want to announce these games saying they'll be on PS4, or do we want to wait until we announce the next PlayStation console and then say, oh, these games will be on PlayStation 5. I want a bunch of people to...
That's what I'm excited about. I feel like they're holding back so that they can just explode.
Oh, yeah, and it'd be great. And that's... Honestly, I thought that's the way to do it because, you know, consoles thrive on those great launches. I mean, let's look at the PS4 launch. I think they had 2 exclusives right away. One of them was pushed back almost a year later with Drive Club. Yeah, Knack and Killzone. Yeah. And whereas Xbox pumped out first-party titles with Dead Rising 3, Rise Son of Rome, Forza Motorsport 5, and then you had all those sports games and Call of Duty kind of launching at the same time. So it was very much more appealing to look at Xbox like, oh, well, they have first-party titles ready to go, whereas PlayStation's got Killzone and Shadowfall and Knack, neither of which were like huge successes.
See how that fared for them, though.
Exactly.
Third-party support is more important, I think.
Oh, yeah, it most certainly is, I feel.
Or at least that's a testament to.
Yeah.
Other than Nintendo.
Yeah, but
always
I think,
the outlier.
But there was also the matter of fact that Xbox, you know, during that launch time, they had their little fiasco with announcing when the console was going to work, price point, all that good stuff. But you know, that was years ago. Another thing, looking at Activision now, is that they have changed their president. They'll have a new president going forward, starting in April.
I'd like a new president.
Well, we'll get into that. We'll leave that alone. Let me see.
Those lucky ducks.
Let me see if I can find more. I had it pulled up. See, this again, like I said, very rough first episode, ladies and gentlemen.
In the future, we can have little tabs open.
Yeah, we'll have this already. This is very much, we spent like the last hour and a half trying to make sure everything worked.
Well, he did. I played solitaire.
It's very, very serious. But yeah, so Activision will have a new president. I don't believe that had anything to do with the Bungie Activision split. I think it was just a matter of things, you know, new internals, things are getting switched over. Again, it's new year. I think the Activision Bungie split was happening well before. I think that was something that was already in the talks.
Also, I mentioned like downsizing. There could be just like a new evaluation on their goals going forward. And you know, people move around and all kinds of things. So I'm sure some kind of weird finagling is going on, but usually that leads to new, exciting new projects and announcements.
Oh yeah, look at that. And there's some bigger things. I mean, not necessarily releases, but we've got the Resident Evil 2 demo just launched Friday.
Yeah,
that was kind of a big surprise. I wasn't expecting a demo for that game at all. I mean, I should have, seeing as how we had the kitchen demo for VR for Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, I actually
that
totally
did really
forgot
well.
About that.
Yeah, that did really well.
And that had a pretty unique way of presenting itself as well.
Yeah.
Like this demo, if you don't mind me jumping into it. So you have, it's called One Shot.
Yeah.
And you have 30 minutes to get as far as you can, and then you're not allowed to play it again. That's it. You're like locked out. So it's 30 minutes of, I guess, a pretty open, or like I said, as far as you can get. But that's it. And it's interesting because with the Resident Evil 7 demo, it was one of those things where you play through it and then there's like little tiny things that are different with each playthrough, and then gradually they kept updating the demo and adding more and more areas to discover, like doors that were locked before would be unlocked. And now with this one, while not the same, they're kind of experimenting with different ways of presenting demos and allowing people hands-on time with their game, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, because I mean, you can beat the demo. If you beat it within 20 minutes, you still have 10 minutes to play it again. It is very strict on that 30 minutes, so you can do whatever you want, but after 30 minutes, no matter what you've done, it's game over. So that's crazy. That's very different. I think it'll work well for them. I think it's a nice incentive for people to go out and download it and actually want to play it and make sure they can get through with it. And it's just really cool because, I mean, it's very, very close to launching that game, coming out late February. So
well, by that same token, though, because of the 30-minute limit, I haven't even played it yet, because like the chance of me getting an uninterrupted 30 minutes is that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, I gotta have it downloaded and installed, ready to go. It's just like,
Yeah, but I think the point is, with demos, it's all marketing. But we're talking about it.
Yeah.
And so already they've accomplished what they need to accomplish.
And from what I hear, preview-wise, and people I've seen play it, there's articles on it, it plays great. People are excited, and it's very successful for them. I think that it's going in the right direction. I can't wait for the game to come out myself. I don't know if I'll purchase it at launch, but, you know, it'll be definitely... I was a huge fan of previous Resident Evil titles. I skipped out on 7, just again, a lot going on, a lot of games coming out, so I was just, I'll pass up real quick.
Maybe you'll jump in that in VR sometime.
Maybe sometime soon. I mean, you get the VR on the way, so we'll see what happens. So there's that. Alongside the demo scheme of things, Devil May Cry 5 getting a demo released. Now, if you guys recall, back in December 7th, when the Game Awards were going on, they released an Xbox One exclusive demo. This is not the same demo, but it will be coming to both PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation now. I'm excited. It is coming out exactly a month away from launch in March. Yeah, March. So I'm excited. I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan. I can't wait. I love the demo on the Xbox One. I will definitely buy the game on my PlayStation, though. That's where I primarily play my games. So, to see how it feels on the PlayStation controller.
Pretty sexy, too.
It was pretty. It was extremely gorgeous.
Lots of bug-like goo.
Yeah, lots of goo.
Yeah.
Lots of goo.
I like the goo.
Very fluid. I like how they took notes.
Fluid goo.
Fluid goo. I like how they took notes gameplay-wise from what happened with DMC Devil May Cry. That game is, again, another polarizing game. I loved it. Just combat-wise, style-wise, and art direction. So
visually, this one seems kind of like a middle ground.
Yes,
between the sort of industrial punk and the gothic. I saw lots of influences of both of those, with maybe like a little spurt of sci-fi.
Yeah.
I don't know why I use spurt. I'm in a liquid mood. It's just every time I think of this demo, I think of there's like a gooey part, and then the little thing that goes in the thing.
Yeah, the what have you.
It looks vaginal, but it's not. But you put the thing and then it like explodes or something.
Yeah. It eats away the what have you.
Yeah,
and it wants to play the demo, but I'll probably play the hell out of the demo a bunch.
If you like bugs, then there you go.
Devil May Cry's the game for you.
Or if you like bugs. Attractive, cocky men.
Or just, really good action.
Or great gameplay.
Slinging, just good gameplay. But whatever, it's fine. It's a game for everybody.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so I mean, that's coming. Can't wait for that. Another big, release coming this month. We're not going to get too much into releases just because it's halfway through the month. A lot of this stuff you guys have probably already heard. But probably the biggest one this month, and it's because it's taken years to come, Kingdom Hearts 3.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Here's the thing, I'm ready.
I'm already tearing up.
You've seen me since mid-December. I've been playing nothing but the Story So Far bundle. So that's 1.5 and the 2.5 Final Mix Collection and the 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
And thank you for playing that, by the way, because I was going to play through all of them, and that's such a daunting task.
Oh my god!
I was kind of putting it off, but now I can just sort of watch what you're doing, and then you can fill me in on the story, so I don't even have to play it.
It is. I'll tell you what, I've sunk in so many hours in all these games. I am now playing Dreamed Up Distance.
We're almost there.
Almost there. I've got that. Then the 0.2 Birth by Sleep, which is just like a glorified tech demo for 3.
0.8 or whatever.
Something, fragmentary passage.
Random unnecessary decimal.
Numbers, RPGs, Square, Disney. It's fine. Yeah. So we've got that, and then the Union Cross movies, or cinematics, whatever. So we have that going. Why is this so important, even if you're not a Kingdom Hearts fan, that this game is actually coming out?
Well, I'm no expert, but I think it's interesting because there's a lot of parallels with like Disney and Kingdom Hearts and nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And Disney already pulls at a lot of heartstrings. Everybody has some kind of Disney-related memory.
Yeah.
And, like, everyone. It's like an American rite of passage.
Mm-hmm.
And with Kingdom Hearts, especially people around our age, a lot of our first, like, important gaming experiences were kind of surrounded by Kingdom Hearts. Like, that was probably the first role-playing game that I really got into. It was the first time that I like personally identified with characters in a video game. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the Disney aspect helped a lot with that. But I remember early on in an interview, I think this is when Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced, the director guy whose name I can't remember.
Tetsuya Nomura.
There we go. He mentioned a lot of us have grown up with Sora. And a lot of us hit puberty when Sora hit puberty.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because now... in Kingdom Hearts 3, I feel like a lot of the story is probably going to dive into that idea. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned that he kind of wanted to explore this idea of, like, being old now and, like, looking back. And I'm really curious about that. But the reason why this is important is because we have literally grown up with this game. And for us to wait this long, we've been sitting on those feelings and those emotions for such a long time. And for it to be coming out now... I just think it's gonna blow a lot of people away.
Oh yeah.
I don't think my heart can handle it.
So I think it's a big thing for me. Is just this game is almost 13 years in development. It is something that's been highly requested. It's the first numbered title. Well, I mean, like actual numbers, not decimal points or 358 or fractions. Title in the series since Kingdom Hearts 2 launched on the PS2. So. I think it gives hope, because, I mean, you gotta think about it. This is a franchise that's built off of one of the most improbable crossovers you ever think would happen between Final Fantasy characters and Disney properties. So it's just something you didn't expect to be successful, and not only successful, it blew out of the water. And they've made this franchise last all those years, still keeping relevancy, still making money, still putting out quality games.
And when Kingdom Hearts first started, like, looking back, I would have never guessed, oh, well, now Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's like, huge. Because there's so much that can happen with it. I mean, I think we're kind of confirmed as to what worlds and everything are going to be in the game when it launches.
Well, Marvel still has a presence in the game.
Yeah, with the Big Hero 6 world. But, I mean...
And, like, even just thinking about the future of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Like, Star Wars.
I mean, there's all sorts of directions they can go, but it also speaks just for, like... Even if you're not a fan of Kingdom Hearts, and I understand there's a ton of people that aren't a fan of it, this should be a proving factor for... Yes, there are going to be franchises you like, where you're going to want a sequel, a remake, whatever, what have you, that just take years, and I mean years to come out. And then when they do, a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to be crap now, because here it is. I can look at Duke Nukem Forever, which was not a great game by any means, but people waited for it for years.
And people are going to be like, oh, it's never going to live up to your expectations.
Yeah, I mean, this gives faith to the game community, because of this game is based on a franchise that should not have worked and last as long as it did, and here we are years later and it's still working, it's still great.
It should have never been good.
Yeah, it should not have worked by any means, but somehow, some way, Square Enix did what they did, and...
I can only imagine the licensing headache.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, you have to go all the way through...
with different properties, and you have to go through with Disney, and you have to go through Disney to the other people that did things for Disney.
Using the likeness of different actors.
Like, it's crazy. And that's even something in itself. I mean, if you look at the cast for Kingdom Hearts 3, a lot of it, including Tangled and Frozen, probably the biggest two, and even Big Hero 6. Every original voice actor from those movies, except for maybe a small handful, maybe 2 or 3 people, are reprising their roles. Yeah. And that's crazy to think about, because that's not only, again, contracts, it's money, that is licensing, it's all that stuff, and here they are making it work. And there's not much more that can be said besides that this is an impossible thing that is coming and is almost a guaranteed success. So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm hoping to get all these games done so I don't burn myself out. That way, when January 29th hits, I'm ready to play these games. This game. I'm
excited to see just how the gameplay style has evolved.
Yeah.
Because, like, especially watching you play through the remasters and stuff, it's interesting seeing how almost unplayable the first game is.
Oh, God.
Just by, like, modern standards. At the time, it was pretty great, but, like, especially with modern like game design and game theory. It's really interesting. And with the new one, because there's been such a big pocket of time, it's gonna probably feel like a pretty massive leap forward.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't wait. I think it's gonna be great. I'm extremely excited. But yeah, and let's move into the next piece here with kind of like not just releases, but a platform for releases. Epic Games Store. That is so Epic Games. Fortnite, or is it Gears of War? All sorts of great things have been around for quite a while. Has released their own online storefront, and it's huge. With Ubisoft just now announcing that they will be releasing The Division 2, or one of their bigger titles come out this year, releasing exclusively for PC through the Epic Games Store. That says a lot in itself already. So, I mean, Epic is already known for, with Fortnite, their customer service and how they handle their consumer base and their fans. And they're top tier. They are one of the best out there to do it, and it's great. And then you have places like Steam with Valve. And, I mean, Valve has been kind of, I want to say, there were a few instances last year where, people were like, well, why? And it was just complaint, fix. Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot, but, here and there enough to make some headlines. So when you have a company like Epic who's, great at what they do, is that a scare for Steam? And seeing that they already have a huge title coming out of the gates, launching on it. And with the name association of Fortnite with Epic, is that already going to be enough to drive people to want to go check out the Epic Store already and then drive them to support? Because, I mean, if that happens, then Epic is going to be more liable to have more PC exclusives hit that platform. So, I mean, I think this will change things, especially this year.
I think it'll be really interesting to see. I don't think Steam has anything to worry about in the short term. Hold on. Oh, no. I don't think Steam has anything to worry about in the short term. But this could be just a sign of where the industry is heading. I feel like there are a lot of little shops showing up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Ubisoft has their own shop, and like there's a special like EA shop and Blizzard shop, and a lot of these games, those are the only ways, or a lot of these publishers, it's the only way to get their games. And I think it'll be interesting to see just how divided the market becomes in the future. Like, I feel like indie games will always be kind of dispersed all over the place. But I get worried about a future in which you have to go to like so many different digital storefronts just to play a wide variety of games. So I wonder if that's going to hinder the diversity of the types of games that people play, especially with the idea of games as a service. A lot more people are spending more time on just one game or like 3 games instead of like a plethora of games. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how this changes the buying behaviors and the I guess the purchasing decisions of consumers, as well as how our games are distributed and where they're distributed from.
Yeah, because I mean there are a lot of more ethical consumers out there nowadays. So people are definitely going to want to go to, okay, well, I mean, this is how they treat people, this is how they received things. They put out this game, or just even, again, name association, that'll be a big thing for them. So, I mean, it'll be crazy to see.
That's another thing, the whole, like, I guess, consumer experience and also the developer experience. Steam had the reputation of being pretty developer friendly, pretty open. Anyone could publish something on Steam, or could post a game on Steam. But then hearing from some like local game developers, like at Jolly Crouton, shout out to them with Matchpoint and Splotches, but they were talking about the process of just going through getting something approved to be on the Steam store, and just the lack of communication was interesting. Like, they thought that the game would be live on a specific date and they had a launch party, and it wasn't, and they had no communication from Steam about when that would be. So they were like, well, today's the launch day, but it'll be up maybe in a few days. And that was kind of interesting to me. And I wonder if Epic can do something that improves that relationship for developers who want their game to be on there. Yeah. It's an opportunity, definitely.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, and again, if it goes well, that's massive for them. So, yeah. I mean, gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna use this episode.
Uh-oh.
We have half an hour here. Hold on.
So speaking of games that have released on platforms, what are the new releases for this week?
So, I mean, we've got quite a few here. So we have, starting tomorrow, we've got, where do we go? We have Panda Hero on PS4.
And just for a heads up for people who listen to this after the fact, this is... Excuse me. Oh my god.
Just die?
January 14th is where we're starting with this, right?
Yes, so this is releases for the week of January 14th, going till January 21st. Is that Monday?
Yeah, we can just take it each day.
Okay,
each day
cool.
at a time.
Well, let's go there then.
Figuring things out.
All right. So, and we're recording this on January 13th. So if anything changes, we'll cover it next week. So Panda Hero on PS4.
Whatever that is.
It looks adorable. As Divine Hearts 2 on PS Vita, whoop whoop, and the PS4. Walking Dead Season 4? The final season, Episode 3, being released on PS4 and PC.
Now that's interesting, because that was kind of in limbo for a hot second. Because Telltale, rest in peace. I've said that a lot. Rest in peace to a lot. Jeez, things just aren't the same anymore.
Yeah, everything's dying.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fine.
As days go by. Days gone.
No. Beat me to it.
You're welcome. And then we have Smoke and Sacrifice, a game on PS4 and Xbox One. Onimusha Warlords for PS4 and PC. That I can't wait for that. I love the Onimusha games before. Been quite a while since I played one. I don't even think I played the ones on 360.
I've never played them, so this will be interesting.
They're difficult, fun though. Very. I want to say Dark Souls before Dark Souls was existing. I don't think they were as hard. Probably not as hard, but they had the same kind of vein where they were just.
They're the Dark Souls of pre-Dark Souls games.
Exactly, Inception. And then my time at Portia, or at least on PC. And then you've got Panda Hero then releasing on the 15th, a day later than everyone else on PC. The Grand Tour game on PS4 and Xbox One.
I'm curious about how that's gonna work.
Why is that?
Because so much of the show is the weird conversations and the tomfoolery that they get into.
Yeah.
How is that going to translate to a gaming experience? I don't know. Probably horribly, but we'll see.
We'll see. It's also published by Amazon Games, so that'll be curious to see how that works out. See what
have they done?
Published a game? I don't think so.
Huh?
I'm not sure, but they just announced that there's possible game streaming service they're gonna do.
Well, this is new to me. Why would they start with such a random ass thing?
Because the Grand Tour, that was a big deal when they got moved over to Amazon. So it just makes sense. I don't know. They don't have a whole lot of internal properties that they keep to themselves. That would make it sense to make a game. Racing games is probably the easiest thing they could think of. Okay, we just gotta drive.
Maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I cannot see that being successful.
Same. We'll see how it goes.
Speaking of which, though, holy potatoes, we're in space! Releases on PS4 January 15th.
Vane in PS4 on January 15th as well.
That one I'm excited about.
Yeah?
But we'll get to that. I'll talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Then we have Planet Risk 13 on PS4 and Xbox One.
Now, I've heard good things about that. It looks like a little 2D side-scrolling platformer type thing, but with a sci-fi story. I've heard that it's on the shorter end, but that it's really good. This is just something I heard randomly offhand, so I haven't played it myself, but I'm curious to try it myself.
Then starting off on January 17th, we have Hell Warders.
Gotta ward that hell.
PS4, Nintendo Switch. Also saying they have Feudal Alloy on Switch and PC.
Not to be confused with Aloy.
Oh. And then continuing January 17th, we have Y2K, Postmodern RPG on PS4 and Switch.
That's another one that I recommend.
There you go. And then Kingdom of Blades on PS4. # Kill All Zombies on Switch. #.
It's obviously an Octothorpe.
Oh, God.
Fun fact, that's what the hashtag was originally called. It was Octothorpe. Back when it was used with phones.
#. Anyway. Continuing January 17th, we have Dying Reborn on Switch.
Have you ever wanted to die and then die again?
And it's man with a fish head.
That
artwork here, so that was terrifying.
Previously came out on Vita and PS4, and it is VR compatible.
Huh.
It's also hot garbage.
Are you inside the fish head?
I think the fish head actually talks to you. It's kind of it's set up sort of like Saw and an escape room, and instead of a weird puppet, there's a not disembodied. Is it disengilled? I don't know.
I mean,
do fish have bodies? Oh yeah, fish have bodies. But it's a weird half of a fish.
Yeah,
is talking to you. I don't know.
Anyway, and then continuing on the 17th, we have Fairy Fencer F, Advent Dark Force on the Switch. It looks interesting. So I've heard the days of working at GameStop, kind of scrolling through and constantly seeing that game on shelves. You'd always have, we'd sell one, get another one in, and I'm like, what is this game? It's clearly a JRPG. Is it that popular? I don't... So,
I think it's just anime women going around with swords in space or something. That could all be made up.
Probably all made up. Anyway, so I'm interested just by looking at it. JRPGs, I've gotten more into those lately. I didn't play a whole lot of them getting out games, so very single-player action-adventure games, but JRPGs have kind of played a huge factor lately. But, we'll see what happens with that one. So I might dive in. Then we have Octahedron on Switch. Holy Potatoes were in space on Switch as well on the 17th, so releasing a little later. Gunman Clive HD Collection on Switch.
I don't know who Clive is, but I'm interested.
Yeah? Well, why is that?
He's a gunman.
Fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Show me them guns.
Them guns. Then, starting January 18th, we have Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown on PS4 and Xbox One.
That I'm really curious to try.
Yeah?
Yeah, especially with the VR modes, which unfortunately is not the whole thing.
As I said, I didn't think there was a whole lot to
There's
the VR
3
modes.
VR missions. I think they're like 20, 30 minutes each, so you got about a movie's length of game there for VR. But they're specifically VR missions, so that'll be interesting.
Okay. Then we have Alvastia Chronicles on PC and Xbox One. Kingdom Hearts VR experience.
I forgot all about that.
Same here.
I forgot all about that. That's gonna be cool.
Yes, that's pretty cool. That'll be there. I believe it's the same day they dropped the Face My Fears EP. So they'll have the soundtrack, well not soundtrack, but at least the intro songs for the game launching the same day. Okay. So that's pretty cool.
Are you gonna, since you have to play everything up until, are you gonna do that?
Yeah, I'll dive into the VR experience, see what it's all about.
Dive right into that headset?
I'll dream drop distance myself into that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. How you like that? We have Farm Together on Xbox One.
Hold on a second. So Skrillex, he worked with
You thought he could?
Yeah. So, does the bass dream drop?
The answer is yes. Anyway, continuing on, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes on Switch. I am pumped.
Is this the one where you had to recharge the sword by masturbating? That sounds...
You don't actually masturbate it.
Is that the one though?
I can't remember off the top of my head. It's No More Heroes is always great. I always want more No More Heroes.
Alright.
So, I'm excited. And then, continuing on, Guacamelee 2 on Xbox One. And then we have Sora Online, Fatal Bullet Complete Edition. Oh, okay. I didn't realize. They put up quite a bit for that game.
Wait, does that mean it's been incomplete this whole time?
No, it's just been post-content. That means the game was out. And
I didn't know that they added...
There's small things here and there. Nothing crazy big. It looks like the next thing, actually, Sora Online, Fatal Bullet, Dissonance of the Nexus will also be released. So that's probably a big add-on content, and they're releasing Complete Edition as well for no one that hopped on before. So that's pretty cool. And then we have A Fisherman's Tale starting. Well, that's so Fatal
Memento.
What are you looking? Are we ahead of?
Yeah, we're ahead.
All right.
Pretty ahead.
Last thing, Fatal.
Yeah, up to 13 actually was when we were supposed to stop. So
up to 13.
January 13th.
That's us. That's today.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just got off. We made it right, just on time. Last thing would have been the 21st, the 19th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so right there.
All right, I'm sorry.
All right, Sword Online Fatal Bullet Complete Edition, along with the expansion pack Dissonance of the Nexus. So that is there. Alrighty. So you wanted to go ahead and talk about Vayne and want to kick.
Well, I was gonna say out of the games that are coming out, which one of those do you think you're most excited for?
Honestly, it's up between Fairy Fencer Advent Dark and No More Heroes. To be fair, I am saving everything I have for Kingdom Hearts 3.
So not the VR experience?
So the VR experience, so I'm not a huge VR guy, you know this.
Yeah.
I am receiving one here soon, so I'll be trying that out. I'm excited to get into it, but VR at the end of the day is not a massive thing. And when anything has VR experience in it, it's not much to it, so I don't garner a whole lot of interest there. But so I'll try it out. It won't be priority, but right now I'm still playing, like I said earlier, Dream Drop Distance, and then I still have the 0.2 Fragmentary Passage, and then I have to watch all the movies. And I'm saying that I'm playing the mobile game now because I want that free Keyblade. So I know I'm an animal. God damn it!
You've fallen down that hole.
It's
the darkness has consumed you.
No, I have opened the keyhole to other lands to all those other worlds because I will be a Keyblade master. It's fine. Anyway, so yeah, I mean,
next episode you just have a giant Keyblade. I got the Keyblade.
Let's go. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I got for this month. What about you? You said you had a couple there.
Yeah, so I wanted to give a shout out to Y2K Postmodern RPG. It's something that I got a chance to see and play a little itsy bit of. I think like 2 or 3 years ago. It was at one of the PlayStation experiences. But that just seems like such a cozy RPG. Mm-hmm. And it's on the Switch, so you can literally curl up in bed and play it. But it's inspired by JRPGs, but it's like an old school kind of like traditional RPG style. But I think it looks pretty cool. Set in the 90s. Everybody loves the 90s nowadays, so
it's a huge trend. I mean, you even got like some of the old Nickelodeon stuff coming back.
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
Oh, I mean, God. But yeah, so I wanted to give a shout out to Y2K. However, the game that I'm personally most excited for is Vane. Mm-hmm. And the main reason why is it just looks interesting. Like, yeah. I don't know a lot about it, and that's the main reason. I played an itsy bit of it at another PSX, probably. But it's just an interesting thing where you play as like this crow, and it's like in the middle of a desert, but it looks very painterly. And the world kind of transforms around you, and the crow can transform into this like boy, and it's open, and you can like freely fly. It's just weird. And there's like sparkly things in the sand, and I like sparkly things in sand.
I love them sparkly things.
Yeah, last time that happened was Journey, and I was not let down, so hopefully more sparkly things in sand. But if you like artsy-fartsy games, then probably Vane will be,
there we go,
up your alley.
All right. Well, anything else to cover this year? I mean, I think that's new releases. We talked on some big news points with Activision. I mean, a lot of it was Activision. You had the Epic Games storefront. Seeing if they're going to be a big contender this year. We talked about some Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, still pumps. That's going away. That hype will live on. Trust me. And something tells me when they release that post content, they're releasing the epilogue in a patch.
They're doing that again.
Well, they're doing it this way because of a few weeks back the whole game leaked. So to hold back on spoilers in case someone found anything out, they don't get the real ending of the game. So that'll be released in a patch. I believe it's day 1 or at least day after. So that's going to be there. And I'm sure that's going to lead to more Kingdom Hearts. I mean, he's already said this is the end of the Seeker of Darkness saga, I think they called it. So we'll see more, probably than, hints of the new cast and everything, and probably another 20 years before we see that happen.
Which I think that's about due for like a new cast of characters, because I mean, this game has been coming out for so long that like a lot of people are going to be playing Kingdom Hearts 3 without having played the other ones, which good luck.
Xbox fans, yeah.
Good luck.
I want to see how they handle Xbox fans at all.
Well, hopefully they addressed it and made the story at least somewhat accessible. But like a lot of people just don't have the same connection to these characters, so I think a new, fresh start, especially with the same universe and everything, would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But actually, I want to throw out a random quick question as a surprise.
Okay.
So other than Kingdom Hearts, since this is the first episode of the Awesome Gaming Podcast, and this is kind of marking the beginning of the year for Awesome Games. Awesome Gaming and Awesome Games.
Oh.
See what I did there? But what are you most excited for this year, as far as video games, other than Kingdom Hearts?
So, I mean, that's hard. So, again, like I said earlier, Devil May Cry is a huge thing for me, so I'm excited about that. It's really hard to say. We don't have a lot. Last of Us 2 will be big. I still have to finish the first one. It came out, it was I bought it on PS3 when it launched, and I was like, I didn't play it then, and then they announced the remaster on PS4. I'm like, okay, so I traded my PS3 copy, got the PS4 copy, still didn't play it. So that's still sitting here, so that'll be something I look forward to.
You're in for a treat with that one.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm doing the same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn, man. It's the year of the PlayStation 4 exclusives. Well, just about any game that came out from anywhere from, I think, 2013 to 2015, I'm playing catch-up on. Just kind of cleaning out the backlog of everything I've got, trying to get that going, at the same time trying to keep up with new releases.
That can be daunting, overwhelming, frustrating, but
fun.
You've got a lot of great things.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I can just kind of go through those. It's probably going to hit the Platinum trophies. I probably won't go from this year, just because
That's fine.
Yeah, I gotta get through a lot, and that's a lot of time commitment to do that for some of those games.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, right now, Kingdom Hearts 3 is on my radar. Devil May Cry 5, probably another big one. Last of Us. I'm really actually excited for Ghost of Tsushima as well. I want to see more of that
this year.
I don't
just see more of that.
Just seeing more of that. I'm not sure if that'll be out this year. I would be surprised if it's not. So.
I thought that what they showed of that was the most impressive thing. Even the thing that excited me the most during their presentation.
Yeah.
Was Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah.
Because it just looks gorgeous. Oh my god. And the sense of weight to the combat and the way that they framed things perfectly, and so the cinematography there and the slowness of the combat, I thought was more like ballet than anything else, and it looked beautiful.
Yeah, can't wait for that. And Animal Crossing on the Switch. Want to hear more about that?
Hey.
Actually, brings up another topic. So in recent years, we've had a Nintendo Direct in the month of January.
Mm-hmm.
We have neither seen or heard from Nintendo regarding that, and we're almost halfway through the month.
Wow.
Do you think we'll see one?
I don't know. I mean, it's.
Right, yeah.
I know that sounds like such a stupid answer, and it is kind of a cop-out thing to say, and I feel like it's the thing that everyone says, but it's Nintendo. Who the fuck knows? Like,
that's true. I mean, I won't expect one because, I mean, there's a lot of games they've announced that we have not seen a whole lot of. With Bayonetta 3, Animal Crossing, they still have more to announce with the Smash Bros. DLC. Like, so we know Joker's coming, but we don't know when or how it's going to work, so we're still waiting to hear about that.
I bet Persona 5 on Switch.
Persona 5 on Switch. Yeah,
predicted
hear about that. Yeah,
that's my prediction.
I can't. I'll play it. I can't wait. That'll be the game I play on the Switch because I can pick it up and go. Sitting down and playing a game like that on a console, on a TV, like on the PlayStation 4. Oh god, I could not do. That's too much
get
time
overwhelmed because I start crying in public.
That
happens anyway, so I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't cry in public, but I'd get frustrated because I'd stop when I play another console game. Like, oh god, where was I at? With the Switch, when I'm out the house, I'm like, all right, I'm playing Persona. When I'm at home, I'm playing something else. I can keep it separate and still keep track of what I'm doing. But there's that. There's also Metroid Prime 4. Yeah. Haven't seen or heard anything about that since early last year. So, I mean, I want a Nintendo Direct this month. I want to see what they're going to do for the year. Kind of give me, like, I don't even need release dates. I just want to know, like, hey, is there more we can see these games and what they're going to do? Yeah. So, yeah. What about you? What are some big things you're expecting out of this year? What are you looking forward to?
So, I'm excited to see, first of all, what happens at E3. And not necessarily because it's E3, but because PlayStation not showing up, that just interests me.
Yeah,
I think that's fascinating. Nintendo has already kind of been weird with how they do presentations and things like that. And I wonder if PlayStation is going to start following suit and doing their own thing, just like the Nintendo Directs, or if they're going to have their own event. Who knows? But kind of going along with that, I'm excited to see... honestly, I really want to see Microsoft and PlayStation duke it out with their new console announcements. Yeah. Because I think PlayStation has been absolutely killing it with first-party support and on the games side, whereas Microsoft has been killing it with like the different services and the kind of experiences that complement gaming. With things like the
Game Pass.
Thank you, yeah. Jesus. But yeah, Game Pass and just literally. Well, maybe not literally, but giving all of their first-party games to people who subscribe to Game Pass, I think is pretty fascinating.
Yeah,
and I know that PlayStation, they kind of went in that direction first with PlayStation Now. Microsoft one-upped them with Game Pass, and that's pretty cool. Also, backwards compatibility. I'm really curious to see PlayStation's response to what Microsoft has been doing on the services side as far as consoles go, and I'm curious to see Microsoft's response to what PlayStation has been doing as far as the games and the first-party support. Because both of them are kind of, if they were smushed together, that would be the perfect thing, right? Like, honestly. And then throw in Nintendo's portability, and boom, you have the best system ever. But it's interesting just seeing their different...
3.0, with the Switch being 2.0.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that'd be great. Not gonna happen, but anyway, proceed.
If they announce a portable system, they're like, all right, third time's a charm, let's do this. Because PlayStation PSP Go doesn't count.
No, God, you shouldn't.
But yeah, I'm just really curious to see how they all respond to what everybody's been doing throughout this generation, going into the next. Yeah. That'll be really interesting.
Well, I'm also looking forward to what we have for this year. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Thank you all for listening and watching. again, let us know. Likes, comment, subscribe, whatever you got to do on the YouTubes, the Twitches, and all the podcasts, what have you. Leave us a review, leave us anything. Let us know what we need to work on, what we can do better. Like I said, we were fully expecting this first episode to be pretty rough. So,
hopefully it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, hopefully not too bad. I think it was enjoyable. I think we were good. And we had some moments here and there, but
every time there's a mistake, just take a drink.
Yeah.
There you go.
And at that point, you've got a great drinking game ahead of you.
Yeah, and that way, if it's a bad episode, you're so drunk by the end that you don't care. And if it's a good episode, then you've had a good episode.
You've left a 5-star. You say we're doing great. We're just going to continue to put out trash. So,
there we go. It's fine.
And then we go from being the Awesome Games Podcast to that Drunken Games Podcast.
The Awesome Drunk.
The Awesome Drunken Games Podcast.
I feel that should be like at least one of the episodes. We should just get completely obliterated.
I'm in.
All right.
We'll just stream ourselves. We could play... What's a good multiplayer game we could play drunk as hell and just make absolute fool of ourselves, not knowing what's going on, just be belligerent?
I know a bad one.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart's always done though. Like, it's not... Mario Kart is a good one, yeah.
I was going to say a bad one would be Overcooked.
Oh, God.
Because if we're drunk and yelling at one another,
fucking
fucking up the burritos, kitchen's on fire.
Oh, God.
But, we're drunk, so...
Alright, so you might set down the pipeline, guys, with us. That'd be something we can get going. Something like playing some multiplayer games, streaming it, or at least recording ourselves playing it and uploading it later.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Yeah, let us know some other stuff. Let us know if we want to do anything else. Anything else video game related that we can possibly do. By all
playing
means,
games naked?
I'm not playing video games naked. It's not happening. No. Nor am I putting it on the internet.
Well...
And thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate your time. We'll see you all next week. Have a good one.
That was fine. Is it working?